Welcome back to Brentford. Welcome to the January transfer window. Let me start today by apologising, actually, for the issue with the video a couple of days ago. I meant to mention it in the last video and I forgot. For some reason, YouTube just didn't want to process an episode and it stayed at 360 or stayed at 360p rather than actually fully processing to HD. That was the video for Thursday. As I record this, Saturday afternoon, it's still processing the HD version of that video. Don't understand why. I apologise. Obviously, the comments were filled with people saying, is anyone else only able to see it in 360p? Even I can only see it in 360p. I tried uploading it twice, and it just doesn't want to process that video in HD. So I had to just kind of leave it live, I'm afraid. I apologise for that. I may not be at my absolute animated best today as well. As you may have seen on social media, I had my second COVID jab yesterday, and I'm feeling a little bit side effecty under the weather today. But hopefully I'll be alright enough to crack on and provide an entertaining episode nonetheless. We start with Fulham in the FA Cup. We'll play that. We'll sim Liverpool, we'll sim the other game against Fulham, we'll play Brighton, and we'll sim Manchester United. We are looking to make changes in this team. I've only got a little bit of money available, but Alvaro is a goalkeeper that's been signed by Brentford on loan in real life, so we might look into that. I'll try and loan him if I can from Huesca. And we were looking for potential centre-backs or potential centre-mids or potential wingers, depending on what we're going to do with the various players we've got at the club right now. I looked into training Philip Billing as a centre-back, 107 weeks. So he won't be able to absolutely make that change, but if I put him into a centre-back position in the squad, he does still get some boosts. So he can play there, I just can't change him to be a default centre-back. So we can utilise that option. I'm looking at a handful of centre-backs though. Amadou Onana would be a player that you guys recommend to change to a centre-back, a 6'4" at Hamburg. He's only 20 though, I don't know how good he's going to be. We'll wait and see. Joe Worrell should be quite established now for Forest in the Championship. Another player we could potentially bring up from the league below. And Umar Solet, or Solet, is a player currently at Salzburg in Austria that you guys recommend for centre-back as well. So we'll wait for scout reports on all of those. Obviously, the other players on the shortlist, these three, Mailer, Berg and Bardi, we've had on the shortlist for a while. Bardi's in the process of talks with Lazio, nor could I afford him, so it's probably going to be a no for him, although I'll keep him here just in case the move to Lazio breaks down. And Said Benrahma is another option that we could maybe look to bring back to the club. Of course, sold to West Ham from Brentford a few years ago, and potentially we could bring him back. I'm contemplating, because it's the whole Damsgaard to Cam or to Silverback, and then Billing to centre-back maybe, and Wissa maybe into the starting line. So I'm training Damsgaard as a Cam, just to add that to his repertoire. I'm training Wissa as a left wing to try and boost his overall. And Billing is able to play at centre-back. I'll show you here. He gets +4 currently in central midfield. And he does get a +2 at centre-back. So he can play there, definitely. I'm also retraining him back as a centre-mid rather than the CDM to see if he could get even just a little bit more of a boost when he plays in that role. Ola Søndergaard is being added to a Cam training development plan as well, just to add that to his repertoire too. Got plenty of options at the moment. Sergi Canos I could also potentially train as a Cam. We've got so many options to us here in the club at the moment. It's deciding where to improve with another player. So at the minute, I'll wait for those scout reports to come back and we'll make a decision once we know who's any good and who isn't. So we'll play Fulham here in the FA Cup. You can see their starting lineup on the left-hand side. It's not their first string side, I don't believe. It's still a strong side, but it's not their absolute best. I will actually play Ola Søndergaard in this game. He's not quite fully fit, but I'll whack him in at Cam. We'll give Sergi Canos a chance to play out wide as well. Other than that, I'm not going to change too much, I don't think, for the time being, because we've got... well, I don't need to really. We've got a full week for everybody to recover for the next game against Liverpool, which we'll sim, of course. So to Craven Cottage we go, hoping to beat Fulham in the Cup and then beat Fulham in the league as well later today, as well as obviously try and do our best against Liverpool, Brighton and Manchester United. And if we get through this game, we should have another FA Cup tie in the month of January too. So it's all kicking off right now, and it's time to actually go and do a proper kick-off at Craven Cottage. Still, despite being by far the lowest rated player in the side, he continues to put in the performances in that right-back role. And as such, you guys are keen for him to continue to start for me. Oh, we could start this game superbly, but it's an excellent block by the defender. Roslu could win that header, and he has done. It will fall for Jensen. And on the volley, or on the half volley, he tries it again, but secondary block by a Fulham defender. We mean business in the FA Cup this season. We're having a really, actually, surprisingly good second season in the Premier League. We started off a little bit wobbly, but we've been in decent form recently. The fixture list has been kind, I have to be honest, with some lower rated and lower form teams that we've been coming up against, so we put together a decent run of results. But Fulham in behind with their first chance of the game and with the first goal of the game. 2 shots blocked at one end, but one ball over the top, one thumping strike into the top left-hand corner. 1-0 deficit to try and turn around. Across the Billing, under control well. Runners around me, including Sergi Canos. Lift it, looking for Ivan Toney. Even Søndergaard that could have been underneath that, but they work it away well until McDonald puts that straight out of play when they could have caught me on a counter-attack there and been quite dangerous. Here's Mbermo, back to Jensen. Mbermo really has kind of solidified his position in this side. I did not get on that well with Mbermo when we first started here at Brentford, but he's one of the first names on the team sheet now. Ivan Toney has always been one of the first names on the team sheet, and more often than not is one of the only names on the score sheet as well. He is again here. It's not taken us long to get back level. We are drawing 1 apiece. Could really do with avoiding a replay though, because it's been busy enough already so far this season, let alone adding more fixtures into the calendar unnecessarily. 19 minutes played, 1-1. Tom Kearney. Oh, Jensen stepped in and they could be in trouble here. Use Søndergaard and then poke it for Tony through the gap. Yes, Ola Søndergaard from Cam. I wasn't sure if that was actually going to reach him, but it did. This kid. Talk about Roslu overperforming for his overall rating. Ola Søndergaard does the same. He's not incredible and certainly doesn't have the physicality, which is kind of why you guys suggested him playing at Cam. It's kind of why I made the decision to put him in at Cam for this game. It's worked. Somehow he managed to muscle himself past the defender and through the goalkeeper's legs. The goalkeeper is number 7, apparently, weirdly. Oh well, 2-1. We're in front. What a game. Tony running the channel. Support arriving. Hello, Mr. Søndergaard again. Oh, it was meant to go to Jensen. It could have been a third for us inside half an hour here. Might be a second for Fulham. They caught me on the counter once. Cabano miscontrols. And Esri Concert does the same. Roslu out here trying to deal with it, but Iskins Cabano has gotten him on toast so far. Tom Kearney can't figure out which foot he wants to control the ball with. And Fulham in behind again. Kearney looking for Tank. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I presume it's just Tank, not Tanke. But regardless, he's a real danger up top for Fulham. Drawing a save out of Raya this time after scoring earlier on. Bobby Cordova-Reid brings that down. Can't find a teammate. Out to Cabano. Into Bisher again in the middle. A nice little back heel. Christophe Raya drawn out to try and deal with it. And in behind is Bisher now. And they've swept me. And Tank has another. And it's 2-2 in this first half in stoppage time. Just a few seconds into it. He has his and Fulham's second. And this is turning into quite a competitive cup tie. Really well worked. I drew out of position. And they just punished me for it. Jensen. Up to Roslu as we look to start the second half on the front foot and get ourselves back in front if we can. Been quite leaky at the back today in this game so far. I've been quite disappointed with our defensive performance, but it's me that's doing the performing, so I guess I have to be disappointed with myself. Gazaniga with a poor ball out. Jensen will win the header, and that will fall to Ola Søndergaard. Draws the save out of the keeper. Søndergaard was lowish on stamina when we start. What's a ball, by the way? No, it's okay. Søndergaard was lowish on stamina when we started this game, so he's actually going to have to come off probably just past the hour mark. You can see there how low his stamina is at this stage. So we're going to be making a change in the not too distant future in that central area. Jack Grealish has just gone to Juventus. I wonder what the transfer fee is there. Ball out wide to Sergi Canos. I do have the option in the back post, but that definitely hit an arm. Kenny Teta, arms were up. Arms were up. Oh, I'll tell you what. Arm hurts when you've had an injection. Kenny Teta threw his arms up in the air trying to make himself bigger. And you can't just do that and expect it to hit an arm and not have a penalty given. Ivan Toney, we're going to go bottom left. Keeper goes the wrong way. For a third time, a side takes the lead in this game. 1-0 Fulham, 2-1 us, 3-2 us. Hopefully, this time, we can stay in front. Hinson trying to close him down, but Kearney does well. Cabano into Tom Kearney again. Oh, that's a lovely ball through to Tank. Good stop by David Raya again. That one-on-one speciality for him. Really proving itself once again. So many goalkeepers would have chances like that just fly under them or through them and you'd find yourself conceding a goal. But more often than not, oh, we've gotten lucky. More often than not, the keeper is able to see them off. Yes! And at the other end, that is why David Raya's one-on-one ability is so important. Because on the counter-attack, from moments like that, we've now extended our lead. I get so lucky, though. So lucky breaking past the defender. But Brian Mbeumo has a goal now as well. We've 4 for the day. Sundergaard is definitely going to have to come off now. We'll bring Damsgaard on in that cam role. Let's bring Yanelt on for Billing as well. Just those 2 changes for now. But I think now, with the 6th goal of the game, we should, hopefully, be safe. By Yanelt. Tank comes across to take it. Derek Ray just called him Tanke, so maybe it is Tanke. It's Brazilian. Tank or Tanke isn't actually in his name, according to his SoFIFA profile. It's one of those Brazilians that have a number of names, and then they just kind of add another one in there and shorten it. From Pacos Ferreira, and supposedly doesn't grow that well in career mode. Like, he's been an absolute, well, if you'll pardon the pun, an absolute tank for them up top. Tom Kearney across to Cabano here. Oh, and again, Raya with the one-on-one save. Just makes himself big, and the ball just never goes past him, or rarely goes past him in scenarios like that. Excellent goalkeeping again from our number 1. Tony inside to Mbeumo will poke it on its way to Mikkel Damsgaard. And for the second time, from a David Raya one-on-one stop, we score on the counter. A 5th here, and we're certainly through to the next round of the FA Cup now. On the overlap here, Joe Bryan, but Conso will win it back and keep it in play, and we'll see this through. Really solid performance, but we owe it in majority to that man, David Raya. Even though he scored 5 goals at the other end, we owe our keeper a lot there. 2 of our goals came from counter-attacks where they should have scored. Could easily have been 4-3 to Fulham, not 5-2 to us. Quite easily. Tank or Tanke was very, very good for them up top. Oh, and David Raya, I'd give him man of the match even though we scored 5 goals. Absolutely. Ivan Toney got a 10 out of 10. Only a 7.6 for Raya, apparently. 3 saves. So good. So good, David Raya. Man United win 1-0 against Sunderland. A narrow margin of victory there against a side that I think is still in League One, actually, in this save. They might have got themselves to the Championship last season, but I think they're still in League One. Interesting Alvaro from Bologna. So we might need to make a move for that. I'll think about putting Justice Silva back into the starting line. He will be back in the starting line for the next game against Liverpool. There's no 2 words about that. Right. I'm going to try and loan. They won't loan him, unfortunately. I don't want to spend £9 million plus trying to buy a goalkeeper when they've already bought a goalkeeper in real life, Brentford, and we bought him in. Matt Cox from Wimbledon. They've loaned in Alvaro, and I don't really want to commit to a purchase when there's other things we need to do elsewhere in the squad. So for the time being, I will call my interest in Alvaro so that we can prioritise elsewhere. Another bid for Valencia. It's like the 7th that we've had this season, or in the save. I guarantee you, though, he rejects any contract and he'll stay at the club. We're actually up in 6th right now with that victory. Well, not with that victory over Fulham. That was in the league, wasn't it? Well, with our recent form, we're up into 6th and only a point behind Spurs in 5th. Villa 3 points behind us, as are West Ham, who are having another good season at Premier League level. So the Benrahma, £32.1 million from Villa. We might even be coming to the Premier League regardless. Shock. Joe Valencia couldn't agree contract terms. He might even be coming to the Premier League, Ennis Bardi, regardless whether it's us or not that buys him. Liverpool currently top of the table and pushing for the title and expecting a victory for them here. Yeah, quite convincingly. 3-0. Salah with a brace and Mane with the third. Well, the second technically, but you know what I mean. And that was as we expected it to go. We've had a bid for Sergi Canos from West Ham. Now, would West Ham be open to a player swap for Saïd Benrahma? Other than without, I don't think I'd want to do a permanent deal for Sergi Canos, but maybe we try a straight swap. I'll say Saïd Benrahma and £5 million. No, okay. Maybe I should have tried a straight swap. Regardless, not actively looking to let Sergi Canos go. And we are above West Ham in the table, even though Canos isn't necessarily getting a lot of first-team football here. I don't think he'd get a lot of first-team football at West Ham either. So it's not necessarily an obvious move to accept. Arsenal have come in for Rico Henry. Where are Arsenal in the table? Arsenal are third. They might not be an incredible side anymore, Arsenal. They might not be challenging at the very top of the table anymore, Arsenal. But they are still a side that would have a draw for someone like Rico Henry. Especially when it's only Kieran Tierney, really, that's doing much for them. I could maybe try and get Nuno Tavares to come to us. Maybe we try that. Maybe we let... I mean, I have to negotiate this. I have to negotiate this. It's Arsenal. I can't... It's the way that we've said we're going to do transfers this year. Or in this save. We are going to be realistic and negotiate with big sides if they come in for our players. And Arsenal are third, and in FIFA terms at least, certainly are much better than us. Even though Brentford got the victory the other day in real life. I'll ask for 22. They might just straight accept that. 16.5. I'll tell you what. Look, I don't know why they've got other managers in the game that look like themselves, but Mikel Arteta doesn't look like Mikel Arteta at all. They've offered me less now. I mean, he's a good player. I don't want to let him go on the cheap, but I am trying to negotiate. I mean, £19 million for a player that's valued at 16.5 for a side like Arsenal is not too much to ask. Mikel Arteta has been really tight there. Really tight. Sorry, Gunners fans. No Rico Henry for you. Unless you come in again later in the window. Prize pool money of £156,000. Who have we gotten in the FA Cup in the next round? It's Blackburn. We can probably comfortably sim that. Still no scout reports back on the players that we're looking at in the transfer window. Our defeat to Liverpool has now seen us fall behind Spurs up to 4 points. A bid for Nergar from Valencia. Now that is certainly something I'm open to. If they'll up that bid a little bit, then I'd be very happy indeed. He doesn't play much football for us at all. And Valencia is definitely a step up for him, and they'll accept 7.5. Christian Nergar is on his way out, it would appear, but that doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I could go and spend that money. We've got a ready-made replacement already in Patrick Berg on our shortlist. So that would be a pretty obvious, straightforward swap, I think. If Nergar goes out, we'll go and get Berg if we can. Fulham playing a similar side to the one that played in the Cup against us, so that you can see that it is better than the side that they had in previously with Cavallero up top, Rodak in goal and Marchand at centre-back. So it might be a difficult game, but we should still get the victory. It's a 2-2 draw thanks to a late Mbermo equaliser in the 83rd minute. Josh Da Silva getting the first. Wilson with a brace for them from Cam. So which Wilson that is, I'm not sure. I don't think it's Callum Wilson. They wouldn't surely be playing Callum Wilson at Cam. Philip Billing has completed his change to centre mid, which is good. Hopefully he stays at 77, which he does. Can I now train him at centre-back? Well, from a CDM to centre-back, it was going to take 107 weeks. From a centre-mid to a centre-back, it's going to take 45. He's not going to improve any of his stats whilst trying to train him to a centre-back, but I will try and move him to centre-back for the time being, depending on what happens with the scout reports on those other players. Johan Wisser has completed his change to a left wing. He's up to 77 with that now. We will try and train his finishing stats and his physicals. Maybe his passing could do with improving more so. Wide playmaker then, that's what we'll go for. Wide playmaker, try and improve him slightly then. Erle Søndergaard has improved or changed to Cam. Wow, and that is a jump. 71 rated Cam from a 66 rated central midfielder. Yeah, that was definitely the right thing to do, wasn't it? Change him to an attacking midfielder, maybe. He's in bad form, supposedly. Not sure about that. Shadow striker will try and improve those finishing stats. His dribbling is already pretty good, but it's going to improve. I really should probably concentrate on his passing stats, shouldn't I? Let's go attacking midfielder to start with. I'm surprised that he's in poor form because he just scored against Fulham. Ennis Bardi has completed that move to Aston Villa, as you can see on the right-hand side there. Nørgaard has been sold, so he's gone now. We have some extra money to spend. This is your chance, I'll say to Erle, but he's not going to be in the starting lineup for this next game. De Silva has now been drafted in to the backup lineup. So De Silva out from there, and for the time being, we'll put Reed in. But I'm going to go and try and buy that Berg now, actually, I think. We'll try and buy Berg first, and then we'll go and play Brighton. So let's get Berg in if we can. Or maybe I should wait for the scout report so I know exactly what I'm going to have to spend on others. Oh, Onana would be pretty cheap. So would Joe Worrell and Solet as well. Okay, intriguing, because Berg is about £13 million. Saïd Benrahma, still £18.5 million. Still waiting for scout reports, basically, on all of those guys. Alvaro is now a Bologna man, so we'll remove him from the list. Do I just go for Berg? I'll wait for the time being. Right, let's go and play Brighton and see if we can get another win in the Premier League after a win in the Cup. Missed the graphics for the Brighton starting lineup. They're still playing their five at the back. They have a new signing at centre-back. Lucas Klostermann has come in from the Bundesliga, so he's now playing at centre-back for them. Can play at right-back as well, but still Lamptey and March either side. Mahmoud Dahoud in a central position alongside Bissouma and Wepu drops, and so does Macias from their starting lineup, as well as Lucas and Metcher is now alongside Neil Maupay. Alexis McAllister, not Percy Tau, sat behind the front two as well. So same formation, but some changes to it from Brighton. We did, what was it, 5-0 last time we played Brighton. So, I mean, you'd like to think we can at least still win the game, even if we don't replicate that scoreline. But they actually, with Klostermann and Dahoud and Lucas and Metcher in their starting lineup now, I think actually this is a better team than the one we played against at the home game yesterday. We'll try and get victory again nonetheless, though. But Alexis McAllister is starting off the front foot. He's a central midfielder I could perhaps look to bring in because he's very talented. We have signed him in a previous game. That definitely hit Christophe Royer's arm. And we might be conceding a goal inside the opening 6 minutes. Now David, he's gone for offside, but it was his arm. Neil Maupay, I think, missed the penalty last time we played them as well, didn't he? He's gone down the middle. Brighton lead after 6 minutes. Bissouma and Brighton playing really well at the beginning of this game. Really, very well indeed. Philip Billing does the defensive dirty work, as we bought him to do. It's a poor pass on his left foot. Sonny Murch trying to get around the outside. Doing so very well indeed. Back to Yves Bissouma. He's got the occasional banger from distance in his locker, as we saw in real life last season. But we've gotten stuck in and gotten the ball away. I'll look for Josh De Silva first here. Dam's not going to make me run on the left-hand side. Tell you what, Ivan Toney's making a run into a channel, and he can get away from Lewis Dunk and Lucas Klostermann here. And he's gotten away from one, and he's gotten away from two. Oh, but that's hit Van Hecker. Perhaps I should have played through and Burma. My first proper chance of the game. Ivan Toney doing all of the hard work himself, but can't finish. Metcher, tried to just nick it away with Christophe Royer. Oh, it's a lovely turn by Neil Maupay. Now I'm in trouble. And he is going to find Mahmoud Dahoud over the top. He's going to need support, maybe. Surely there's too many red and white shirts in front of him to go for goal. He's still worked the opportunity, and it's well held by David Raya. Brighton mean business. Brighton really mean business. Half an hour in, we're still behind, and they're pressing for a second. Liverpool take a 1-0 lead against Burnley, as they literally have just taken a 2-0 lead against Burnley in real life above me. Great finish from Sadio Mane there, and it was Mo Salah that scored in this save. But regardless, Liverpool at the top of the table are winning. I'm not sure where they are on the table in real life, actually. Probably joint top. Well, they'll probably go top if they're the early kick-off today, won't they? After their win last week. Röslu into Mbermu. And back looking for Röslu, but Solly March defends it well. I need to be better against Brighton. Röslu into Mbermu. It's under control well. Need to start the second half right. Need to start it well. Tony, go back to Rico Henry. Arsenal have scored a second against Villa. It's 2-0 there. And it's Sambi Lokonga again. Scored the first and scored the second at Villa Park. It's too many men in the way for Brighton back here. Can't find any space in front of goal. Josh De Silva. Back to Billing. Barca has signed Tap Sober. Jensen just trying to work some space. Oh, to get the shooting opportunity. It's hit the post. Put his foot right through that. So desperately unlucky not to have found us an equaliser there. Damsgaard's won that back well. And De Silva will find Ivan Toney. Support here from De Silva. Out wide to Damsgaard. Whipped into the middle. Away by Van Hecker. We'll just nod that back if we can. Really putting the pressure on now. Billing, Jensen through there looking for De Silva. Will find Ivan Toney, who puts it wide. A change for us. Billing off and Søndergaard coming on. De Silva will drop from cam to centre mid, and Erler will come on in that cam role to try and help unlock this defensive back line of Brighton. Has excellent dribbling, which is kind of what I'm hoping will be his... Oh, I should have taken the shot there and I delayed on it and Jensen got in the goddamn way. It's not worked for me offensively in this game so far. That was probably the best opening we've had in the entirety of the second half, other than Jensen hitting the post, which wasn't even really an opening of sorts. I just put my foot through it and it so happened to manage to avoid all of the defenders that were around. And Jensen's in again. He might score this time. No, what a save from Robert Sanchez. Brighton look like they're going to hold on here and looking for revenge for that thumping yesterday. And as things stand, they're going to get it too. Alexis McAllister again driving inside. It's a nice touch and tackle though. And Søndergaard will look for Tony. Will try and set him in behind. He's always our leading light, Ivan Toney. And across the back of the box is Mbermu. We have an equaliser. It's late, but it will do. 1-1 against Brentford. 1-1 against Brighton. We are Brentford. Oh, hello. And Mbermu running straight to me. Must have heard my comments in the last game saying that he's one of the first names on the team sheet now and how I'm actually enjoying using him now rather than kind of thinking about replacing him like we were halfway through season one. Ivan Toney with the assist on this occasion. Dunk just can't get there and Mbermu is in space at the back post. Right place, right time to tuck home an equaliser for us. No payback for Brighton. 5-0 yesterday and they were just moments away from getting themselves a victory on the back of that defeat last time around, but they won't do it unless they go and score now in these final few 2 minutes. I don't think they will. I hope they don't. Mahmoud Dahoud, is that a foul? No, the referee says no. I thought it was. Oh, trying to get it quickly forward to maybe steal a winner of our own. We still could. Ref, don't do anything. Ivan Toney looking to turn away from the defender, get tackled, and there is the final whistle. A 1-1 draw, I'll take it. Brentford weren't good enough here today. Early penalty, but Brighton was so good defensively. I just couldn't find a way through for ages. Hitting the post was the closest we came until that last moment. And just some tired legs from their backline, having defended so well for the majority of the game. Couldn't keep pace with Mbermu on the counter. Scout reports have come back on all of the players we were looking at. So let's go and have a look at them. Oh, you want a new contract, do you, Mr. Sco? I wasn't aware of that. I'm going to go offer him a contract, and then I'll see you in the scout reports. Okay, so we've advanced as far as the Blackburn game, and all but one of the scout reports are back. The one scout report that isn't back is actually for a player that I've added to the list, because he played so well against Liverpool in real life above me whilst I've been recording this episode. I've added Dwight McNeil onto the shortlist as a potential wide option or even central cam option because he does look pretty damn good. He's expensive, however. Said Benrahma is cheaper and obviously has an affiliation with the club already and has decent physical stats. He's quicker than Dwight McNeil would be. Excellent dribbling. So I think I'm going to probably go for Said Benrahma to bring him back to the club, but I'll wait for the full scout report on Dwight McNeil before definitively making that decision. With regards to the centre-back role, Umar Solet looks pretty good. He's obviously got the decent physicals. how tall is he? 6'4". Got good jumping, great strength. Pace is good enough for a centre-back, but technically he's all right, but he's not spectacular. Joe Worrell is probably not going to be the one that I go for, unfortunately. Onana intrigues me. Not incredible physically. Technically, he's also not amazing, but he is slightly better than Umar. And I think as a centre-back will probably be higher rated, although it might take him a little while to retrain as a centre-back because he's not got great jumping. He is about the same price, basically, so I could afford to bring either of them in. I think I'm going to go for Onana, because I think if retrained to centre-back, he'd probably be a higher rating than Solet, and younger too. So Onana is the one that I'm going to go for and try and retrain him. I'll then make a decision about what to do between McNeil or Benrahma, and if we have enough money left, I'll go for Patrick Berg as well. So Onana should hopefully not cost much at all. No, I will negotiate. I'm not going to pay 11 million when I could probably get him for, like, well, about valuation, probably. They might ask for 5.5 or something. They want Cerndegaard. Guess what, lads? Not a fucking chance. Try again. I'll offer them 5.2, and they should just accept that, I'd like to think. 6.8. Okay, that's not a massive amount of money, but with the amount of players we'd like to bring in, I would like to try and save some if they don't mind. 6.5, they come down a little bit. How about 6.1? I'll meet you in the middle. They will meet me in the middle too. He's not going to cost much wage-wise. He's only on £6,500 a week on Anna. So this could be a sporadic squad role expected as well, which is perfect. 5-year contract length. That's this one contract signed for him for the entirety of this save. Please don't ask for too much in wage-wise. Now, give me an idea of what you want. They haven't. I'll offer him 15 grand a week, which is 2.5 times what he's currently on. He wants 21 grand, though. That's fine. I'll remove the bonus and probably want 22 or 23 from that. No, they'll take it. Right, that's him in then. Now, let me see what it's going to take to retrain him as a centre-back. Hopefully not too long. He should be able to play there anyway and get some boosts. Showing great potential as well is an exceptional tag to have. And 2 weeks to a centre-back. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Perfect. Welcome to the club, Mr. Onana. You will be a dream signing for us in our rotation 11. I think he's going to settle in very, very nicely indeed. We'll add him to the starting lineup for this rotation side. No boosts yet, but obviously he's only got 50 sharpness and his morale is only content. So plenty of positives looking there for Onana. Right, how much money have I got left? Probably only enough for one of the two players that I would like to try and bring in. Or two positions, should I rephrase it, that I would like to fill. Berg or one of McNeil or Benrahma. I can't afford both. Can't afford both. Now, I do kind of need the centre mid more so than I need the wide man at the moment. So I think Berg might be the one that I go for. Take more money across to next season and then maybe bring Benrahma or McNeil in. Because we have numbers at the minute with regards to that wide role and that cam role. Especially now we've moved Cerndegaard slightly further forward or allowed him the opportunity to move slightly further forward. So I think Patrick Berg is the one that makes sense for the squad. I think that's what makes most sense at this stage of our save. And then next season we can maybe go for that step up. You're not having Jensen. Think again, mate. That's what makes most sense at this moment in time. Then we can make that step up with Benrahma or Dwight McNeil next season. 18.4 million is probably fine, but I'll try and get him a little bit cheaper if I can. 16.5 is about midway from our last bid, and Schalke will accept that. So Berg is currently on 10 grand a week. Again, wage-wise, absolutely fine. He's not going to want massive amount of first-team football, I don't think. We'll ask him if he'll accept rotation. He wants important. I'll have to give him it, because I now can't re-offer him rotation, frustratingly. But 4-year contract is fine. He will be in our rotation 11, but on the bench to come on and have an impact in the starting main 11. He was on 10 grand. I'll offer him 20, and hopefully he'll just accept that. Although an important player might want more. Yeah, 31. Okay. We'll remove the bonus, but keep the wage as high as it is. 35. Okay. 33. It's not much, but it can make a difference when it comes to taking money over to next season. So Benrahma and McNeil are currently my priorities with regards to the next deal to be done in the forward third of the pitch. Berg will come in there and start in this lineup, and then we'll add him to the bench for this team here. Ahead of Sergi Canos. Berg will come in ahead of Janelt, maybe. Ahead of Janelt. Right. Let's go and sim this game against Blackburn. Get ourselves through to the next round of the FA Cup, please. And then we can go and sim the game against Manchester United and see how we get on there. Bradley Dack in the starting lineup for Blackburn, but it's Gallagher that's on the bench. On the score sheet, Sam Gallagher. Billing gets a goal. De Silva gets a goal. De Silva gets 2, and Ivan Toney set us off certainly the right way with a goal inside 60 seconds. Tottenham beat Manchester United. So Man United, after beating Sunderland, are now out of the Cup and can concentrate solely on their domestic football, or European as well, presumably domestic league football. PSV have come in for Rico Henry now. Now that I do feel relatively comfortable enough in rejecting. Johan Wisser still begging for first team football, hoping to get some, but at the moment he's not. I can't justify at the minute dropping anyone from my starting squad. Dwight McNeil's final scout report has come in, and he's rated at 80. He'd probably suit a central role more so than a wide role because he's not got the pace, whereas Benrahma, with his pace, would probably suit a wide role just as much as he'd suit a central role. Benrahma would be nice to bring Benrahma back to Brentford now that they're at Premier League level. A transfer bid from Leicester for Brian Mbeumo of £35.1 million. Where are Leicester in the league? We're currently 6th and looking like we're going to get Europe again. Leicester are 9th. I don't know what to do with that bid. If they'll pay over the top for him, then I'll bring in the other 2, McNeil and Benrahma. But they will have to pay. What's it say? I can get up to 46. If they'll pay over 43, then I would be happy enough to see Mbeumo leave and make the other changes, but it doesn't look like they're going to go up high enough, so I don't think Mbeumo is going to be leaving. 42. I won't go any lower. And they won't be me any more than 35.1. I'm sorry. I'm going to reject it. Brian Mbeumo stays. Sorry, Brendan Rodgers. That's not going to happen. You need to play higher than that if you want to take our right-sided midfielder from our starting lineup. Right, Manchester United coming up next. So I'm just going to fucking release this kid in a minute. Samuelson, Alexander Samuelson, Rio Ave have showed interest to loans, so we'll do that. And Janelt has had a bid come in from Ajax. And that is kind of hard to turn down. Vitaly Janelt from Ajax. Obviously, Ajax are a bigger club than Brentford. That goes without saying. Ajax, one of the biggest clubs in all of Europe. If they'll pay upwards of 15, they can have him. I'll offer them 15 and see what they say to it. They won't pay 15. I mean, he's still only 23. It's not like I'm being unreasonable with these counter bids, is it? The first one, perhaps so, but the second one, it's certainly dropping by 5 million. So that second counter offer wasn't too unrealistic, I don't think, or unreasonable. Manchester United starting lineup you can see on the right. Phil Jones playing for Manchester United. Matic and Fred in the holding roles with Sancho, Rashford, Fernandes and Martial as the front 4. Expecting to lose and losing. Rashford, De Silva and Bruno with the goals. We only had 1 shot. We scored it, but we only had 1 shot, so certainly deserved to lose that game. And as we head into transfer deadline day, You'll be fine, Josh. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. He's getting a little bit anxious. We're down to 9th now, but still, as you can see, only 2 points off Villa in 6th. It's very tight again in the midfield. And an 80 rated left winger becomes an 81 rated cap. Really, 884 weeks it would take for Damsgaard to retrain as a centre-back. 800... Fucking hell. Oh, Christ. It's like, I don't even know how many years that is. More than a decade. Nearly 20 years it would take him to retrain as a centre-back. Too sure about that. Right. Transfer deadline day on the horizon. We have still some money in the bank, but not enough to really realistically improve anywhere. So unless we get any big bids, we'll probably stay as we are. But we have had emails immediately. Samuelson is going to agree a short-term loan to Rio Ave. That's great. Now, who is it that's come in for Christopher Ayer? It's Sevilla. They're a big club with a lot of European pedigree in recent years. I mean, if we're being truly honest with ourselves, that's a step up for Christopher Ayer. But he is very valuable to us. And our joint highest rated player. They're still only asking, or only offering £31 million. 33.6, they're coming up. They pay 38.5. They pay 38.5, they can have him. 37.3, very nearly. It would be a shock departure, but one that makes sense, realistically. Christopher Ayer moving to Sevilla for regular Champions League level football, provided he agrees contract terms, meaning that we will now be in the market again for another centre-back. Maybe Solet will get his move to the club and we'll move Onana into that centre-back role starting. So far, all of the deals actually for centre-backs. Top deals so far. Tapsoba to Barca. Diego Carlos from Sevilla to Bayern. That's why Sevilla are looking for a new centre-back then, evidently. And Mats Hummels from Dortmund to Inter. Inter do love an ageing centre-back, don't they? Diego Godin moving there in recent years. Sold. Levante have bid from Burmo now. That I'm happy enough to reject. Levante is certainly a backward step. Right. Let's throw... minus 35. Let's throw Onana in there, and he shouldn't be too long before he actually changes to a centre-back. Now then, I have the money now to go out and buy someone like Solet and one of those other forward players. Umar Solet can come in. He's not going to cost me much money at all. And we should be able to get that and McNeil or Benrahma done. An approach to buy. We shouldn't have to pay more than £7 or £8 million for him. I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't like to think anyway, considering he's so lowly rated. He does have great potential, but it's not like he's 21 and 78, 79 rated. He's still only 73. What's he on a week? 12.5 grand from Salzburg. Coming to the Premier League is definitely a step up for him. Absolutely. Now he wants an important squad role. Yikes. You're not going to get that, my friend. He's desperate for important, though. I'll have to offer it to him, but he's not going to get that much first-team football, at least not until next season, and hopefully if we get European football as well. No release clause is fine by me, and 19 grand, you can sign that. That's not a problem. Right, so Solet is in. Now then, Benrahma or Dwight McNeil. Benrahma, you'd say, is more the finished article, even though his rating is actually lower. You'd say Benrahma is actually a better player than Dwight McNeil. Which to go for? I think because Benrahma can play centrally as well, although to be fair, Dwight McNeil could too. Because of the link we have with Benrahma. But is coming from Brentford to West Ham just a sideways step? It's tough. It's tough. Burnley Burnley's an obvious step up for Dwight McNeil. And he's younger and higher rated. Oh, that is genuinely a tough one. If Benrahma didn't have the link to Brentford previously, then I'd just disregard him and go for Dwight McNeil. But he does have the link, and he is slightly quicker. And he has 4 traits as well. What are those traits? Flair, long shot taker, outside foot shot, technical dribbler. Just long shot taker and technical dribbler for Dwight McNeil. I'm going to go for Benrahma. There was a comment in the comment section asking me to bring Benrahma back to the club, and it did have a few thumbs up on it as well. And I genuinely believe we'll finish above West Ham this year. I might have to pay through the nose to get him 25.5. I'd be tempted to just accept that, but I'll try and get him a little bit cheaper if I can, just to take some more money over to next season if they'll accept 23. 23.6 is fine by me. What's he on a week? 42 grand. Saeed Benrahma coming back to the club. Squad role. I'll offer him important because he will be important to the squad. Not crucial, but he will be important to the squad. Try and get him on a long-term deal. It is a bit of a sideways step, and I fully understand that and acknowledge that. But I think the link... Oh, I almost offered him millions of pounds a month. I think the step back to a club that he helped or tried to help get to the Premier League, made the jump to go to the Premier League, but now he's going to come back here now that we're in the Prem. It's going to be Sergi Canos now does definitely drop off the bench. Solet can come onto the bench for Pontus Jansson as well. And Benrahma is going to be another option for us in midfield and out wide. I can utilise him in a number of different areas now. And I'll actually put him into the second lineup on the left-hand side. Sergi Canos can come in for Valencia there. Berg, Cernagar, Janelt. Okay, I think... Actually, let's take Onana out of there now and put Solet in that rotation 11. Right. That, I think, is a good window for us. I'm pretty sure that's a good window for us. I feel it's a good window for us. Obviously, football is a game of opinions, and you might disagree, but Samuelson's gone out on loan to Rio Ave. I think that's a good window for us. I think we've done the right thing in selling Ayer to Sevilla. I think we did the right thing trying to negotiate a couple of the other deals that came in that subsequently fell apart. And I think we've done the right thing in choosing to bring Benrahma back to the club. You can try. Good luck. Not going to happen, though. Nice for Jensen. Nice are a decent side in France, but they're not a Lyon or a Lille or a PSG, so I feel like I can turn that down. And with just 1 hour left to go now, that will be the end of transfer deadline day. So the biggest deals in this window are still the top 3 centre-backs. And in the Premier League, Arsenal did nothing. Aston Villa brought in Enis Bardi, as well as Bagard and Garcia, and have let Courtney Howes go. We brought in Onana, Berg, Solet and Benrahma, and let Nurgar and Ayer go. Klursman and Pat in at Brighton, with Trossard, Duncan, Webster leaving. Gabama in at Burnley, with Ben Mee and Chris Wood leaving. Katsaraba and Rowan at Cardiff for free or on loan, and Bernard has gone out. Toby Alderweireld signed at Chelsea, interesting, and Adeyemi. Palace doing a little bit. Everton doing a little bit. I'm not sure who Neva is. Ellis Sims and Jean-Philippe Gabama leaving. We saw he's already gone to a different side in the Premier League. Fulham doing not much at all. Leeds doing not much at all. Perez out at Leicester, and that's it for them. Liverpool doing nothing. City doing not much at all either. Man United have sold McTominay. That's the only deal they've done this window. Dries Mertens is in at Newcastle. Nothing for Spurs. Minimal for West Bromwich Albion. Attacked by my t-shirt. Benrahma out of West Ham is the only deal that they've done. Paco Alcacer is in at Wolves, and Dendonkan Saiz out. An interesting window where not much has happened there in the Premier League. We've probably been one of, if not the, most active side. Intriguing. Very, very intriguing. We end today's episode and the month 9th in the Premier League, but we're so close to the European spots, at least the Europa League spots. Spurs have really pulled away. Okay, we're close to 6th. 2 points off 6th. Then it is a bit of a jump. But if we can get European football for finishing 8th last year, then certainly we can get European football for finishing 6th this year, provided we can actually finish there then. So the biggest deals in this window just gone. In fact, Jack Grealish to Juventus went through in between windows. He's gone to Juventus for 77.2 million. That happened in September. Tapsoba we saw. Ndombele is actually looking like he's going to be leaving Tottenham in real life as well. Whether it's Bayern that he goes to or not, we'll wait and see. Theo Hernandez to Manchester City happened in between windows. So maybe that's why we saw some of the bigger clubs not actually making too much business or too many waves in that transfer window. Renato Sanches has gone to PSG from Lille. It's a rather obvious move for PSG to go and sign him. McTominay went to Lyon. McTominay's gone to Lyon. This is that Neva from Granada, a left back. No idea who Carlos Neva is, I'm afraid. Luka Jovic in September went to Inter. Also, Mazraoui has gone to Bayern, the right back from Ajax. Christopher Ayer to Sevilla from us, that makes sense. Dele Alli's gone to Wolves. Leandro Paredes has gone to Napoli. What's that other one? Oh, Maxence Cacaret's gone to Hertha Berlin. Anything else? Bastoni to Atleti. Paco Alcacer we saw. Aaron Barrios, not too much of a big deal. And Jesus Corona has gone to Arsenal in between windows, and that will have gone through on January the 1st. So some clubs have done some stuff. They've just not done it in the window. They've kind of done their negotiations between windows and got the business done early. We got our business done late, but with games against Wolves, Chelsea, which we'll see him, and West Ham tomorrow, as well as presumably another FA Cup tie as well, then we will have some developments with the Premier League table, to be honest, because West Ham are right there above us, and Said Benrahma might get the chance to play against his former team, pretty early on. Chelsea are down in 11th. They've drawn 11 games so far this year. 11, that's outrageous. Well, that will do us for today, lads. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Let me know your feedback in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any more of this saver, of course, FIFA 22 when it comes. But for now, that's all from me for today. Thank you very much, lads. I'll see you later.